cleanup towels.
In a dope show.
I'm a sock.
Cleanup towels at the dope show, and then it turns out to be a sock. It's like an M. Night Shyamalan twist.
Yeah, I'm the guy who wipes down the loads.
You put yourself a fistful of nickels in that sock, and you got yourself something.
Yeah. Do we spell Space Truckers correctly? Is it something else? Are we talking about a different movie?
I think we should use the working title, which was Untitled Irish Space Movie.
Untitled Irish space movie.
Apparently, Stephen Dorff's...
Was this made in Ireland or something?
It was, yeah.
In Germany, it was Perfecten Trucker.
Gotcha. The kielbasa maneuver.
Well, welcome back to Rabbit Troop Sucks. You know, whatever language you're speaking and whatever interpretation you have of this film or anything at any point in time, dope as hell. So we're coming back at you with Space Truckers 1996, and we are Rabbit Troop Sucks. We are a podcast about obscure, forgotten about, and often overlooked films. And Space Truckers is definitely part of that. As always,
Yeah, I overlooked this movie. I've never seen this movie.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Yeah.
You've seen it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have seen it now.
Dude, you got
It's
trucked.
right up there in the frontal lobe.
Hashtag pounded. As always, I'm Paul. Next to me is Mike.
Hey, a.k.a. King of the Smooth Dogs.
Yeah, he got trucked. Hashtag pounded. There's Lamar.
Hello.
There's Jeremy drinking some smooth criminal.
Space hog, motherfucker.
All right.
And Collin.
Hi.
Are they trying to jack your space hogs?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
You know
Cute
what? I'm
pigs or
really
whatever.
disappointed that those space hogs didn't play a bigger role.
They did. Mm-hmm. In
You
your
know?
dreams. Now, every time you close your eyes, you can see those space hogs. Whisper little things to them. Like, hey, guys, want my hot dog bun? Got a little mustard on it. You like that, don't you?
You know what they say? Grease up your baby for a ball on the hill.
Yeah. That's the
I've heard them say that, yeah.
John Canyon way, you know?
Right.
You know the John Canyon toy line and the Jeep truck?
Does John Canyon have anything to do with this film?
Yeah.
What is it?
The main character's name.
Right.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
I just in my notes it just says Dennis Hopper.
Yeah, good times. Yeah, well, we're looking at Space Truckers in 1996. It does have Dennis Hopper. His name is John Canyon. We're going to get back at you with Lord of the Dance, Charles Dance himself. Last time we saw this son of a bitch, Last Action Hero, and Brother Noomsy.
Brother Doomsy.
Oh, yeah, The Golden Child. Absolutely one of my favorites. This movie's got them all. It's got Dennis Hopper and Charles Dance and Stephen the Dorffman is coming right at you. He's Blade, baby.
Yeah.
Blade.
Nice.
He's like the vampire, right?
Yeah.
Who's that girl in this movie?
Empire Records chick.
Yeah.
What?
She's in Empire Records.
Debi Mazar
Yeah.
that plays Cindy.
Yeah, I've seen her in some things before.
She's
she's in Empire Records.
she's in
Emily in Paris, if you're watching that.
she's in the Val Kilmer Batman movie.
Nice.
Okay.
All right.
You know how like
nice.
Two-Face has like
Yeah, Sugar
Yes.
and Spice.
sugar and
Yes.
spice.
Yeah.
She's Drew Barrymore is sugar
Okay.
and she's spice.
Oh,
Yeah.
very nice.
George Wendt is in this movie for a spell. Last time we saw him, we got him in House. We got him in
I
Fletch.
like the way he dies in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, spoiler, man. And we all know him from Cheers, Norm.
Right.
Norm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we got them all.
That's all of them.
Here.
Yeah, that's it.
All.
Stuart Gordon's the director. He did the screenplay and directed Reanimator. I would love to visit Reanimator at some point in time. 85, so maybe good for one for Halloween. From Beyond, we all watched not too long ago. That's 86. Dolls, 86. Robot Jocks, 89. Robot Jocks is like, I feel king of the direct to VHS. So was it 89? That was like a time period where you would go to the video store, probably in your grocery store, and there would be like side area, like you'd rent like 400 films or less, and like Robot Jocks would be there, and you're like, what is this? You're like, this is, because you would pick it up,
picked
you're
that movie up.
yeah, because you're like, this is a movie that was released, but like in theaters, like it was very like what, like, and you're like, hell yeah, like robots are fighting, right? And you'd go home and you're like, oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, no, no, no.
You're definitely like, oh no.
He also directed Fortress, which we watched.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Also an oh-no-er.
We got to get to Fortress 2 at some point in time. Come on. And I starred that, Mike, and that's crazy. I wrote to the side, Fortress.
Yeah.
One of the writers, Ted Mann, Castle Freak. We're going to get to Castle Freak at some point in time. And then one of the other guys, still Ted Mann. This guy had like a storied kind of history. So he is doing the screenplay for various other things. And he did the screenplay for NYPD Blue from 93 to 95, Deadwood, and the Hatfields and McCoys, and then Homeland. So this guy's like producing and doing screenplays for all sorts of stuff. So it's kind of cool.
Weird.
Like, I mean, like awesome though. Like,
Yeah, it just, I mean,
like not really our group's cup
like
of tea, but
cop
like
shows, TV westerns, and this bullshit.
but just like constantly. Like it just seems like he's just been going.
I feel like
It's a man just living life by his own accord.
I feel like we also discovered another director that's been doing that. I mentioned a couple weeks ago, I can't remember who it was, but they're directing like one episode of all of these TV dramas, and he's been doing it for like 20 years and producing these episodes of, it's really bizarre. And I think it's from the same genre of movies that we're watching here with Space Truckers. I can't remember which director it was, but he did like one episode of this, one episode of that.
Steven Spielberg.
Where's his son, his nephew.
Christopher Nolan.
They get around.
Christopher Nolan presents To Be Features, a Charles Band production.
Did he do Moon Maidens too?
Everyone did move.
Are you saying we're not going to see a Christopher Nolan to be original
You will.
Yeah.
You will.
one day?
You will.
That's what Christopher Nolan calls his penis.
To be one.
Not to go too far. A space trucker and his cute fiance are on their way from a space station to Earth with an unknown cargo. When space pirates hijack them, 5,000 disintegrator robots are found in the cargo.
5,000.
That'll be the last time I reference them as
I think
disintegrator
we saw
robots.
maybe 13
Yeah.
disintegrator
maybe
robots
five.
out of the 5,000.
And I'm going to be calling them killbots for the rest of the movie.
Okay,
They're
that's
obviously
fair.
killbots.
Yeah.
Killbots.
They ain't your mama's chopping mall.
Did anyone play Mass Effect?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're,
Oh, yeah.
they're the
yeah,
Geth, right?
Yeah, they
That
are.
character in there?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. Okay. Like 100% that's where they got that from Mass Effect. It has to be.
I'm
'cause
hoping.
They look exactly the same.
I thought the robots look awesome.
The robots do look awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, at one point, those robots...
No, like vice versa.
Okay.
All the robots were played by chicks, and they had really tight asses
Yeah.
for robots.
They had like robotic cloacas.
Yeah, I didn't like some of the movements of the robots, but the robots themselves, like the concept art,
Yeah,
is kind of cool.
it is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of like a hybrid. I'm going to say this, like, there's later in my notes. They will uncover these killbots, which is very similar to Luke Skywalker walking up and whipping ass in The Mandalorian. Spoiler, if you didn't see, like, the end of season was, like, 2.
It's like from 5 years ago.
Right.
I think you're safe.
Right,
Are
but
you
there's
saying
one-
that these killbots are completely and totally indestructible?
Right, so you need basically a Jedi to come up, or like a guy in a grenade, or that backfires on you.
Or Steven Dorff.
So it's kind of like those kind of killbots meets Aliens for like the movie Aliens, but then they kind of wiggle a little bit. It's kind of weird.
They wiggle it just a little.
They have
Just
the
a little bit.
the pew pew lasers that fire out. What was that laser called?
Pew pew.
The pew pew laser.
Yeah.
The pew pew laser.
That's
yeah.
all it is. The incinerator.
Just a little
Hey,
bit. I want to see
Can
you.
you guys? So you guys, Steven Dorff is in this. Am I correct in
He's in Blade,
saying
baby.
his name is Mike Pucci?
Yeah.
Yes.
At the end
I called him Pucci.
At the end of the
whole
movie,
fucking-
at the very end of the movie, I looked at these guys and I said, "God bless Mike Pucci," and I did.
I couldn't
That
take
sounds
this
like
dude.
a fucking Hyla vacuum salesman name. Like, hey, my name's Mike Pucci.
I couldn't take him seriously from the
Sounds
get-go.
like a porn star.
You couldn't take him seriously?
He introduced himself. Hi, I'm Mike Pucci. Like, all right, you're done already. First of all, you're Steven Dorff, and then to you're Pucci.
Mike-
you're literally Pucci.
Mike, do you think this is going to become like your online alias?
Mike
I hope
Pucci.
so.
Like
yeah.
it's Paladin
As soon
Mike.
as I heard that name,
well,
I
it's
was like,
Paladin
this-
Mike here. in the group, but like on the mean streets of the internet, it's Mike Pucci.
Yeah.
If Mike loses the next Halloween episode game, then he has to legally change his name to Mike Pucci.
Don't ever.
You don't even have to threaten me. I'll do it. That's
Guys-
a strong name.
Yeah.
Guys, you know Halloween is on a Friday this year. Why don't we all go as our favorite space truckers characters?
We
There we
can't
go.
all go as Mike Pucci.
Nice.
Or if not him, who would you be?
Oh my God, I'd
Who's
be
your-
Charles Dance and his robo
That's
penis.
his iron
With his,
buns.
yeah, with his fucking vibrating schlong.
Who doesn't want a chainsaw cord operated low level wang mission?
Yeah. I'm going to go as the toilet lady with the keypad in her mouth.
I
like
Your
that.
mouth open.
Yeah.
That's unexpected, you know? That's an unexpected
Yeah,
character.
it's a twist. Spoiler alert. We'll get there, I guess.
We can tell that Mike is excited about this movie.
Dude, I love this movie. I've seen this movie before. I like this movie.
Yeah, Jeremy, I thought
This reminds me of like a white Pluto Nash. This movie.
That's fair.
Yeah.
No, it's not. Jeremy, I thought you saw this movie before.
I thought I did too, but man, I have not seen this movie.
Did you show it to
Yeah.
the kids? Did the wife love it?
No, they could have watched it. It was fine. I wish that it would have gone full blown rated R, and we could have seen the bits
the
and
full
pieces of that
Pucci.
one. Yeah, the
Yeah.
full Pucci.
They might as well have. They let loose with the language.
Yeah.
Wait, what's this movie rated?
It has to be R.
PG-13.
Fuck this and shit that.
This movie
I
is
guarantee
PG-13.
it
has to be
It's PG-13.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
There's a lot of profanity.
Otherwise,
in this
that
movie.
Was there? I don't remember a lot of
That lady's butt would have
profanity.
been
I mean, there was a
exposed.
couple dicks and there's some like weird stuff, but I don't think there was any like
All right, at the
no
beginning.
fucks.
Like,
Dennis
oh,
Hopper's
language
like-
dicks, not man dicks.
yeah.
Okay.
The
yeah.
the word dick.
The word dick, yeah.
That's
Yeah,
the
you
shirt. Language
You
dicks.
can show a drooping mechanical schlong.
Jeremy, that's the shirt. Language dicks, not man dicks? Question mark. Rabbit Troop sucks.
It's important to clarify.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Let's
a
get that
distinction.
unpaid graphic artist on
Okay. I'll text her.
the job.
Just remember, listeners, an easy way to get to our website is always dickpony.com.
That's right. It's the easiest to remember. Give that to your mother.
HTTPS : /
The glee that erupted in Collin that day changed.
So much erupted in Collin that day.
You can just Google DP and it'll say.
Will it?
I guarantee-
Right
yeah,
to
I-
Dick Pony.
Later on that morning, Colin told his mom to check out dickpony.com.
Dude,
I guarantee it.
I told everyone I am unemployed now because of all the people I told. So if you've got a Dick Pony related job out there, hit me up, please.
I know we might be a few weeks ahead, and whatever anyone's watching, I'm not going to give too many spoilers. But my wife and I watch a Celebrity Jeopardy here and there, and over the past couple weeks, there has been a question about weird science and one about Better Off Dead.
Wow.
Nice.
Wow, we're hitting it all.
Yeah. They're listening.
1985 anniversary dates. There you say they're listening.
They're listening.
Hell yeah.
They're stealing ideas.
This podcast coming at you from Denver also highlights weird, forgotten about, and often overlooked
Oh man,
films.
if we could be a video daily double, I would die a happy person.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
pops
Right, so-
up randomly on a random episode of Jeopardy.
Maybe, Mike, because when the person clearly doesn't know the answer to this, and they're like, I want a true daily double, and they wager it all, and they're like, I've never heard of this podcast.
Yeah.
The hate mail that would come to us.
Yeah.
96 people in the world would get this correct.
That's right.
You'd have to make sure they're on the panel.
No, I don't want the question to be about Rabbit Troop Sucks. I want us as a podcast to be the video hint where we're like,
Oh, that would be
we're
amazing.
Rabbit Troop Sucks. And
Okay, well, that's-
in this movie,
Okay.
Mike's
that'd be
scenario
work
is
with
like,
that, yes.
although very improbable, possible.
yes,
Where the other one was impossible.
correct. What was the last name of Stephen Dorff's character in the 1985 masterpiece? The 1995 masterpiece?
Mike,
Space
Huge
Truckers.
There's quotes around masterpiece on that.
Mike the Pooch Pucci.
Pooch, yeah. What letter dock does George Wendt tell them to park your hog load in?
What kind of dicks were we talking about? Man dicks? Question mark.
Exactly. It's
Have you,
C dock.
have you guys ever
by the
parked
way.
a hog load into something?
into C dock constantly?
Yeah. You got to.
These are all terms that people should be googling.
Someone
At
said
work.
in this
At
movie,
work.
park your hog load in Sea Dock.
Right.
They had to, when they at the writers' room table, someone was like, "Guys,
Well,
Right,
it's
at
a
the writer's room
whimsical
table.
sci-fi comedy, Mike.
At the writer's room table, they were doing as many lines as they were foot-long sandwiches from Subway. And when this came up, they all high-fived. They were like,
Yeah.
you have got this dialed in. Here's I'm going to say something honest about this movie. The budget is all over the place. There are moments where I'm like, for a 1996 movie, some of like this, like the outer like spaceships.
That's like
of look-
Mystery Science Theater 3000. Like,
Well,
Yeah.
like
of them
no,
are
like
good.
one comes out of like when they saw that like those black rocks and they like docked. That like one comes out from like the clouds, like the space clouds.
oh, the space pirate ship?
right. And I was like, this is looking pretty good.
yeah." Some
Like,
of the practical effects
yeah,
look good, but then like all the space truckers are wearing pink trash bags.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like then we get to like the diner scenes. I'm like, was this filmed at like the mall? Like, what the hell? Yeah, it is just the budget's bizarre. Like I don't know what's happening. And yes, you're gonna have to be, I guess, somewhat forgiving. It's a '96 movie, but what?
Yeah.
You'll have to be a lot of forgiving.
It's the wing commander of space trucking movies. In special effects. The content is no wing commander.
What do you think the budget for this movie was?
I don't know. Are you looking it up?
I already know it.
I mean,
Oh,
but you might
I'm gonna
say
say
it.
it. I'm gonna say it. $17.6 million.
dear
It's
Lord.
not bad.
I'm gonna say like I don't know a lot about budgets, so
Yeah,
like
same
if like you gave me a number, I would need like a comparable film.
I would throw out maybe 8-9 million.
This is 25 million.
Dear sweet.
But what would
Blair
be like
Lewis.
another '96 movie? Not like a blockbuster, but like if we looked up another '96 movie, what would that budget be?
What was Waterworld, like 200 million?
Okay, let's
Yeah.
not look up that.
That doesn't care. That doesn't count.
Yeah, you're right, Paul. The budget does look like it's all over the place. I chalk it up to like cheap special effects, but like excellent lighting,
Yeah,
which
this,
brings out like the good parts. Some of it looks good, other parts look bad.
well, that's like as Mike was saying, like some of it just looks like super weird on the interior, and this movie's wardrobe is like a mixture of The Fifth Element meets Double Dragon.
How about
Yeah.
this? Spaceballs had basically the exact same budget.
But I was like, when Spaceballs come out, like
1987.
Like 10 years earlier.
1987? Yeah. Okay. Let's see.
Oh, yeah,
So
talking-
not 9 years.
The Fifth Element.
Fifth Element, yeah.
90 million.
Okay.
It's like a big movie, though.
Yeah.
You can see where that went.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's crazy. What is this movie doing?
Yeah.
This
It's
movie
having
looks
a good time, Paul.
Well,
this
this-
movie's having a
like
good
much
time.
like Robot Jocks. This movie clearly like came out mainly probably direct to video. Like
It aired on HBO. It was not in theaters.
there you go.
There you go.
Whoa.
So
Juba
direct to
Juba.
HBO.
All I can think of Community and all of this when they're making a space movie. Like is this thing rolling?
I mean, like 120 years from now, the Discovery Channel could have like Space Road Truckers as like a documentary series.
It's not going to take that long. They're going to
Season
have it
3.
sooner than that.
When we were watching this, I for sure thought this was like an 86 movie.
Colin, I also agree with this. This movie seems super dated in areas. It's just weird. I love it. I love everything that's happening in this movie, though. Like
Absolutely.
the story drives it for me.
How does this movie start? Let's talk about that.
It starts
yeah.
the same way Star Wars starts.
Let's start. There's a lot of things happening.
A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
Yeah.
There's a control room, and for
It
some reason, the
all
guy in
starts with
charge
a
of the
bang.
control room has to be on like an elevated platform above everybody. Like,
Juba,
I feel
Juba.
like that's like an extra $500,000 that didn't need to be spent.
Yeah, that was
you
an
know?
expensive
Just put it
table.
down there.
No.
That was Dennis Hopper's cousin, Rennis.
What's
Rennis
it?
Hopper.
Jar Jar Binks is like the leader of the corporation.
Yeah.
Isn't that his name? Jar Jar?
Nope.
JJ?
No.
Mr. Sachs,
EJ.
Mr. D,
Sachs.
Mr. Saxon, like Brenda. What's Charles Dance's name at the beginning of the movie?
Noble.
Brenda.
Yeah, Dr. Nabel.
Mabel. Yeah.
Nabel. That's right. Nabel.
Dr. Mabel.
Nabel.
No, I refuse to say that.
What about Maple?
Yeah.
Dr. Maple.
Dr. Maple. That's better.
His tagline is Feel the trickle down your throat. I am Dr. Nabel. Tariff thee none. Yeah, it starts off like Star Wars. It all starts with a big whoop.
Yeah. Well, they got all the troopers lining up by the door.
Yeah, so this real a-hole of a guy is like, what are these? And this killbot just takes out like spaceships and army. Gets on this
where
other
is
spaceship.
this thing? Is it on
Everywhere.
the ground?
It's
like
gonna-
this
it's
moon?
wherever it
It's
wants
just
to be.
one. There's only one of them,
There
correct?
could be only one
Yeah.
for now.
Yeah.
But there's
So
5,000.
this thing is like, I guess it's like on the exterior of this moon, like marching towards this base. It's,
No
it's
moon?
taking out spaceships. So it finally gets to the command center. It breaks in like Star Wars style with like, it melts the door open.
sure?
And then this guy presses a fucking remote after everybody's dead. And he's like, hey, I control these things. There's gotta be a fucking better test. There's gotta be, guys.
Much like snakes on a plane, they exhaust
Yeah,
all other tests. And the true test was just taking down trillions upon trillions of dollars and lives. They
Like,
only,
look at the money this can cost.
and then the guy's like, I do like kind of the banter. So Dr. Maplethroat is like, I made all these Charles Dance, and this other crazy bastard's like, very good. Like, oh my God, like if we just made a few more of these, like just one could do all of this. Like, what if we had like 100?
500.
And the guy's like, yeah, I kind of made it like 5,000. He's like, you son of a bitch. He's like, holy shit with this guy.
Then he's like,
He's
hey,
like, I'm gonna kill you.
can I see that remote real quick? And Charles Dance is like, yeah, that seems chill. I don't see this going wrong.
I like these were the instructions. So the remote control looks like the remote control from the fan.
A space heater. Like
Yeah,
a space heater.
like, it's like the electric fan in my house, like on like our ceiling that like is outdated. There's like 4 buttons.
It's a car door garage
Right,
opener.
and he's like, so this is like the on off, but he's like, this one programs like what you want it to do. I'm like, what? How? Like, is it reading your mind?
yeah, it's got AI.
You press this button, the garage door opens. While it's opening, you think real hard on what you want it to do.
Don't let all 5,000 of these things out with the garage door open.
Yeah, so there's like a whole like space train of cargo containers with 5,000 of these.
Yeah.
And
about
we're gonna
that?
get to those soon. They're like,
Let's get to some fucking hardcore space country ballads.
What you know? Let's get to some yeehaw because we got John just space trucking. He's got some yeehaw hogs. He's got space hogs.
He's got square hogs.
Square hogs.
Yeah, well, I mean,
A square pig
wait.
for a square.
And he's throating down like a giant hot dog.
yeah.
while he's
So
driving
so
these
basically, people are just growing pigs in space like they would Japanese watermelons. They're doing it in boxes. And
Why are the
These-
pigs square?
These pigs did not look healthy, by the way. They,
fine.
they were crammed into those cages.
Well, that's
Yeah.
because John's feeding him fucking hot dogs. That can't be good.
I assume in like what we're not told is this is probably some kind of delicacy. They're probably growing them just like if you wanted real meat, they're trying to maximize in the grossest way. Dude, this is like how foie gras is made. Like this is the ethical reasons that people are like, I don't like duck fat because you basically explode them in a cage and then eat their innards and their goodness. And people are like, hell yeah. I love that.
Big beef.
Yeah. Big duck.
Big pork.
I see it as more of a maybe a lack of meat thing, and there's so much pork in the universe that they have
Porkins.
to conserve it and have to grow them big, so they just stuff them in these boxes, and it's like square watermelons. You get some square
bonsai
bit.
cats.
Is Jeremy being attacked by some kind of animal right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a moth.
Porkins is behind him.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, they're everywhere.
It's a space hog.
Oh, stay on target.
Yeah. That moth is going to stay on target.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Well-
It seemed like a weird. I get easier to transport, I guess.
Yeah, it's all gross.
I think, yeah.
You could
This
stack
I mean,
is-
how are you going to get? Yeah, some planets just aren't going to support that pig life.
It's
that
just
pig
Dude,
lifestyle.
I'm sure it's all cooked up. This is just like space veal.
right.
This is
Yeah,
what's
why
happening.
not transport just the finished product, like the
Jeremy.
bacon and like cutlets?
Yeah, well, they're not leaving those cells. I think they're just going to be processed right inside of there. And
Yeah, people are
pooped
probably
out
paying like
a
big
goo.
money.
Yeah,
Fresh meat.
we don't get to see how the pork is made here, but that's probably how it's
You know
gonna
the
be
old
done.
adage. You don't want to know how the sausage is
No,
made.
not at all.
No, you don't.
Yeah, well, I mean, so this is where we get John. So John space trucking his way in, and apparently he's 2 days late. And George Wendt is like, "Oh my God, you're 2 days late." Well, he doesn't say that first, but he's like, "Hey, buddy, you're 2 days late. Like, go and dock." Then he's like, "We're gonna give you like a third of what we promised to pay you." And he's like, "This is bullshit." He's like, "This is corporate policy, bro." He's like, "You're lucky I'm even trying to pay you." He's like, "I'm not doing any of this, so I'm gonna go to a diner and keep my ship docked onto your corporate dock, and I'm sure you're not going to do anything about it. I'm going to go get like a cheeseburger, bro. Bye."
Yeah. Space pork contracts are pretty loosey-goosey.
Yeah.
Like, he knew his ship was slow. He's like, my fat-ass elephant ship is the slowest in the galaxy. So why did you hire me? But at the same time, it's like, you knew you weren't going to make it there on time, so why did you accept this fucking job?
Yeah, I'm like, it's very weird. This isn't like fleshed out. Like, you're meant to think like George Wendt like did this on purpose. Like, I hired you purposely because I'm going to pay you less, maybe.
That's how I took it.
But it sounds like it was like a breach of contract.
But it also seems like other people are working with him without problems. So I'm like, I don't.
Well, I think Inner Pork or whatever the company was called, I think they employed most of those space.
You got to go in their pork.
Was it?
It's Interpork.
Interpork?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, get right in there.
Rabbit Troop Sucks is a subsidiary.
Brought to you by Interpork.
Wow.
Yeah.
For a Interpork distributor or manager, I think George Wendt fits the bill perfectly in this role. He just kind of looks
Mike,
like
He's kind of like
Mike, can you look up if Interpork could be bought and if they could directly send us?
Here we go.
Yeah. Okay.
There we go.
What's the price per share of Interpork?
Yeah, if Interpork could directly just bring us to Rabbit Troop Sucks, that'd be great.
Had a nice logo.
Yes, makes sense. Not bad.
I don't know. It might already be a thing. Who knows?
Yeah.
Like, are you looking at enter pork? Like enter the pork?
No.
Like like
Or
if
like
you were to
enter, E-I-N-T-E-R.
Like international pork.
Enter pork or
Interplanetary pork.
there you go.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Is that how it's spelled in the movie?
Yeah.
Oh, someone owns it.
Let's buy it from them.
They thought
No amount is too much.
We
What
can
about
get
pork or dumplings?
interpork.baby. Is the thing you can buy?
that sounds wrong.
You shouldn't be interring pork babies.
Interpork.baby.
I didn't know
You
dot
can.
baby was
There's
a
a
thing.
dot baby.
Yeah.
Remember those dot fun? That was my favorite.
Yeah.
Dickpony.fun still needs to be bought back. Well, as you guys are looking this up, so basically, as John Conway is like, nope, he goes to this diner and he goes to meet Cindy. And Cindy is just a waitress there, but apparently he's been flirting with her. Like, the backstory is like he loves her, I guess, but maybe this is just like a bunch of banter. He clearly cares for her in some capacity, but every time he's there, it's like known that he'll go see her and, you know, he's ordering food or whatever. This is where we meet Stephen Dorff. He's just eating at the
Sorry, what's his name?
Dorfman.
Mike Pucci.
Mike Pucci. Mike Pooch the Pucci. He's there just eating at the bar area. And basically Keller, who's George Wendt, walks in and he's like, he's hijacked pretty much all of the Square Pig cargo. And he's like, we've gassed up your vehicle. Now get the hell out of here. And then it's a big brawl. And in this brawl, this idiot pulls out a gun, shoots out a window, and everything's sucked out into space, including George Wendt. And there goes his character. Like, his character is just done.
Yeah, he was sucked ass end out of a window.
It's exactly how the alien dies in Alien
Yes!
Resurrection.
Yes, good for you, Mike.
Except for it's way less gross. Like,
that's
it
fair.
really set the tone of like, how are they gonna suck the fat out of this guy? And it wasn't nearly as graphic as it could have been.
Yeah, it should have been rated R, man, and we should have seen like George Wendt's like Collin just blow out into space.
No, because then they would have just showed like his ass just like exploding out, and they would have been very graphic with it. You would have seen his butt cheeks just like come out of the window.
They could have just shown him
Christmas
getting
miracle.
thinner and thinner.
would have been beautiful.
Just in time for Easter.
Someone owns MikePucci.com.
Is it Stephen Dorff?
He's like, son of a bitch, I played that character.
I'm gonna lock this
I
shit down.
own that. I locked in that role. I was Mike Pucci for a week.
MikePucci.baby for $2.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
It can't all be Mike Pucci's.
No. Okay, I'm done buying domains.
This diner scene is the introduction to the weird motif of this movie, like cowboy hats, and
Yeah.
it's kind of a space trucker western comedy.
This movie is a lot of things.
Yeah.
and
It's
that is
very
definitely one of
vibrant,
them.
and everybody's wearing
It's horror,
like, weird
sci-fi.
costumes. Yeah.
In this part of the story is Cindy wants to go to Earth because her mom is getting out of the
Her mom.
hospital. We don't really understand what's happening, but she had some kind of like procedure. She's getting out of the hospital, and they are far from Earth. And she's like, "Oh my god, it would take like over me working at double shifts overtime for like 5 years to get a ticket to Earth." And John, Dennis Hopper is like, "I'll make you a
Dennis.
deal. You'll marry me if I get you to Earth." And she's like, "Okay."
Creepy.
And it's like, it's kind of like a friendly bet, but yeah, Jeremy's totally right. It is creepy. But
Especially since he's obviously very much older than her.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the deal. And that's when the brawl happens. And then we see kind of like this cutscene before the brawl where Mike takes a job. He is working corporate, and Mike Pucci does take a job from Keller, George Wendt. And Dennis Hopper's all pissed. He's like, "Oh my god, look, not only are you like giving me a hard time, you like basically took my job." He's like, "Dude, I am broke."
How
and I
is
need
Mike
money."
supposed to know this though? Mike
He met
said
him
like 2
30
words to
seconds
this
ago.
guy in the
Right.
fucking diner.
Right, but he knew what the cargo was. So like once the cargo was said, he says this. He's like, "Oh, isn't that like John's cargo?" And the guy and George Wendt's like, "Is that a problem?" He's like, "No, I don't really know this guy," but he does know like
Yeah.
the
He
job he's
doesn't.
taking. But yeah, then the brawl happens, and then all of this. Dennis Hopper's like, "Follow me," and they go to this woman's restroom. I love this. This scene is amazing for me. This is like right out of Men in Black. Like they
Oh,
basically,
yeah, it is, yeah.
like he busts open this like stall, and this woman's like, "Oh my god, I'm going to the bathroom. What are you doing?" And Cindy and Mike are like, "Oh my god, dude, what are you doing?" And Dennis Hopper's like, No, and pushes back this woman's head,
Yeah,
which
what
opens
the
up to
fuck
like
was
a
that,
dial
dude?
panel. He puts in a little code, and then they go downwards to the secret thing. I'm like, man, if I knew this about a space station, I'd be doing all sorts of weird back tunnels and stuff. Like, this is my dream. I love it. Always, I've told you guys, secret rooms, tunnels, safe houses, whatever
Back
it is.
tunnel entrance. Hashtag.
Don't Google that unless you're at work.
Hey, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
It's back a few lines in my notes, but I'm trying to remind myself.
Zesty?
So, no, it's before Zesty. Zesty's the man lady with the glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're about to meet Zesty.
Yeah. So my notes are: hot waitress needs to go to Earth. The next note that I have is all they sent back was his dick. Why did I write that?
So they're talking. Another space trucker died.
That's
and
ass mechanics.
They're
dude.
asking.
Oh, the wake that they went to.
Yeah, they're asking John. They're like, "Are you here for the funeral?"
That's
and he's
right.
like, "No." And they're like, "Oh yeah." And they're like, "All they sent back was that guy's dick."
because he got the space pirates.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're setting up the scene for the whatever zone.
Yeah, so now they're underground, and Mr. Zesty was like, "I've got this side job, and it's going to Earth." And Cindy's like, "Oh my god!" And he's like, "Okay, you're gonna have to marry me."
It's a big load.
And Mike Pucci's like, "Well, I'm your partner," and he's like, maybe." And then it's a big load, and they go.
Yeah.
And then the cops are after them, and the cops are like, "We got to get them." And then, according to Mike Pucci, John does the best driving he's ever seen.
He
Ever
turned
seen.
the spaceship slightly.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was a tussle.
There was some ace shit.
And
And now, is this girl in her panties the rest of the movie?
Most of it, yeah.
Yeah. What's your problem?
Well, it gets hot.
Yeah.
Some like it hot.
Oh yeah, Zesty also tells him that the cargo is sex robots,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and not to fuck with them.
You're hauling sex robots. These documents are forged. Don't mess with any of this, and just deliver it. You'll be fine.
Don't fuck the robots.
Yeah, you'll all
This
be fine.
movie could have gone a totally different direction if there were sex robots
Well,
in that cargo.
Yeah,
They weren't rad enough.
There was so much going on that it took me another like 10 minutes to realize what they were actually hauling. I had totally forgotten the first chunk of this whole movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Colin, like you,
God
it's
damn
like two halves of the movie.
Yeah,
And the
yeah.
first half, I was like, what?
Colin was down to his space boots at this point in time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. I was doing a lot of
Space
things.
pants around the ankles.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Just doing the square hog.
like the cops just like basically let him go. They like turn and they're like, nah, let him go. They're like they get direct orders, let him go, and they're like, stupid.
After he had murdered one of them.
It's fine.
Yeah.
May or may not be murdered.
Well-
we just saw the guy go, I only assume he was murdered.
Well, that's fair. He might not.
Prove me wrong.
He got Porkins too.
No,
Just a flesh wound.
John F. Porkins.
Yeah, didn't they? So they're
Good
in the
old
scum
swamp butt.
cluster now, right? The scum cluster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever been to the scum cluster?
Well,
It's a sweet bar.
Yeah.
pull out really early on that one.
Yeah, don't get the fish.
That's bad.
Yeah. Okay.
What kind of fish is it? Gefilte?
Yeah, it's gefilte fish.
Well, Steven and what's her name? Also, they made out a little
Dorfman?
bit. Yeah,
Pucci?
he gave her the Dorff.
Going for
Pooch.
Blade?
Yeah.
He put the Dorff in the pooch.
He wants to be a vampire too.
Well, they escape the police, but they end up in a black rock cluster,
Yeah.
and they get their ship
No, the
all
scum
fucked up.
cluster.
Yeah, it's part of
The
the
scum cluster.
It's a scum cluster
But they
with
hit
black
a piece
rock.
of black rock. Okay, that's
Yeah,
what they
yeah.
call it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, this is they go to sleep, wake up, and then they comment that it's 6 hours later.
Right. And you wake up to like a 12-inch black rock.
That's right. Yeah, yeah.
I know the ship's been penetrated by a hard black rock.
Don't worry, I'm behind you.
Oh my!
Ooh. But it did do, and their ship's all fucked up, and it's getting too hot.
Yeah, because it knocked out their atmospheric control or whatever.
Yeah.
And so John goes out to like dick around with like kind of like a Jimmy rig coolant deal that he's gonna do.
Stephen Dorff does his own dicking.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, John's outside and he's dealing with like now like security lasers that are popping up because like the cargo is like super secure.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that
the
was
guy
kind of
warned
warning.
him of that though.
Yeah.
The guy he picked the job up from, he's like, don't fuck around with the cargo.
Yeah. Yeah, but like we didn't know really to
Zesty?
the extent
That's
like
the
you
guy's
could-
name, Zesty.
Zesty.
We just talked about this.
Mr.
We literally just
Zesty?
talked about this
Jeremy doesn't pay attention to what we say.
like 1 minute ago.
Zesty.
Zesty gave him the job. You're going to Earth. And they're like, okay. So, yeah, but it wasn't like warned like this. Like, they're outside and like laser beams are coming out and just boop, 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 like shooting everything. John gets the hell out of there. But yeah, simultaneously, Mike's like, oh, it's getting kind of hot. I'm going to take off my weird space turtleneck and, you know, I'm wearing leather
My mesh
pants.
shirt.
We all have to remind Mike to put his
And
pants
Cindy's
back
like,
on.
yeah, I guess I should too. So they're all basically floating around in their underwear. And John comes back in, is not stoked about this.
No.
Nonplussed.
He didn't want to see Mike's Pucci.
No.
No.
That's OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Space OnlyFans.
It did lead to a little intimacy, but Cindy
Yeah.
pushes him off and tells him the truth.
Yeah.
And she's only in it for the Earth.
Yeah, she's down to, yeah, as long as she can get to Earth, she's down to fuck.
Oh, she'll definitely fall
Alright.
for Earth.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, but she tells him that
There you go.
she's engaged to John, and he's like, fuck. And that's when John comes in, and now it's like a big ass argument between
Yeah.
the Pucci and Mr.
I mean, like, you could marry me. You could be Cindy Pucci.
He's not too mad because they resolve it, and then he takes down
Yeah.
his cooler of Suckazucks.
Yeah, that's some space
Sucks,
beer.
sucks,
Yeah,
sucks.
that's
Sucks,
the Miller
sucks.
Lite of space.
Yeah. Sucks.
Yeah, they're all having some space beer and it's a good
There
time.
you go.
Yeah. And then
So
Jeremy's
that's all
right.
there
From
is.
this point on, she is in her underwear for the rest of the movie.
Until the end, when she puts
Yeah.
on a spacesuit. But
Until she
yeah.
gropes like that robotic ass, you know? Then she changes clothes.
Yeah. That's true. She does do that.
Well, space pirates.
Yeah.
Surprise.
Space Pirates are popping.
Yar. Space
Dude,
pirates.
this ship was fucking huge, dude. Where did this ship come from? Like,
Space.
didn't the guy just die, like, at the beginning of the movie, like, a couple days ago?
I don't know if that was.
Yeah, I don't. Well, I don't know. Also, that timeline.
Well, because when they saw the pirate ship, they're like they thought it was like a cruise ship or something.
so what is it? Nabel.
Mabel.
Um,
Mabel.
Charles Dance.
Mabel
Yeah.
throat.
Yeah.
Well, Jeremy's asking like, when did he die? I have no idea. Like this could maybe years ago.
That's true.
Like I have no good question, but
I don't
like,
know.
have
He said
no
he
idea.
already had 5,000 robots and they were like ready to go. And he's like,
That's the
okay,
cargo.
you're dead.
But,
And then,
I think the
I-
thing is he's the only one who knew where they were, so he
Yeah, but
orchestrates all
let's
this.
say even a month. You're telling me this guy became king of the space pirates in a fucking month?
Maybe a year, I would say.
I mean, he had to rebuild his
Timeline.
body and stuff.
I mean, they should have fucking used UPS to ship these things,
Did
man.
you see the cord he had to pull for that wang frequency?
Yeah, it's hard to fine tune a wang frequency. So
He's supposed to be a genius. The
11
dumbest fucking line in this movie.
I've
was
been
about-
spending the year fine-tuning my
11 months of that year
And
was
I'm
spent on
quoting.
that wing.
I'm quoting. I emit a low amp electrical wang pulse.
Oh,
so good.
that took all summer.
We pulled up the subtitles and all.
yeah,
So text your wife Jeremy about the wang pulse.
Yeah.
I will.
Start screaming about it. It's snowing in Denver.
Yeah,
Pull the cord to the wang pulse. Rip cord.
I will. Yeah. Oh yeah, he did start his penis with a ripcord with like he's starting a chainsaw.
Yeah, it
you
was
know,
nice. It's nice.
like the fucking what's it called? The movie Seven.
It's like he was on Tool Time.
That was the sound it made.
it was. That's where Tim got it from.
The sound of a chainsaw from this movie specifically.
Yeah, so the space pirates come and they just like capture them immediately, and they get into their stuff and they're like, we're taking all of your cargo, what's in it? And they're like, I don't know. They're like, well, you should tell us. He's like, I don't know. The crazy thing is, like, Charles Dance's character does know.
Right.
So why are they asking them?
Because he didn't tell his pirate lackeys because they're inconsequential.
Well, I thought he didn't know. Like, I thought they just got real fucking lucky.
Oh,
I mean,
really?
I feel Charles Dance definitely knew. This cannot be luck.
I think he did,
right?
and he's just fucking with
I think
him.
it is
I don't
luck.
know.
Maybe.
It might be.
There's no way
He's
this
king
is
of the
luck.
space
I thought it
pirates.
was pure. I thought it was pure bad writing luck.
That might be true.
I'd believe that. I don't know that he specifies that he knew what it was.
You think out of anyone, that's the only guy who knew it. Well, who,
He was murdered and then became
That's
a
true.
space
Well,
pirate.
well,
the
no, there's-
manifest says they're carrying sex dolls, and Charles Dance was very eager to get in that cargo hold.
Well,
so you guys are under the impression that Charles Dance died, rebuilt his body, and by luck was hanging out and was like, oh
Yeah.
shit, like this is the cargo I need.
yes.
Yes. I'm on that. I'm on board.
Can I do a spoiler?
Yeah.
Because at the end, when President Jar Jar is like, "You fucked my plans all up," he was the one that sent for the robots. So he was the customer. So maybe Maple Throat knew from some way and intercepted it on purpose, but maybe he was just doing pirating and got lucky.
I was under the impression he was like tracking this down. Like he's like,
I mean, that
so-
could be. I don't know that it was
All right.
specified.
So for that to have happened, he would have had to known that the shipment was going to go off course and became king pirate in 6 hours. Because remember, everything that happened on the space station and the derailing of the route was chance.
If he did know that this was that cargo, then he's spending a large amount of time dicking around with his crew instead of just opening it up and doing what he was going to do and just take this army. Because upon meeting him, he's sniffing up all on Cindy as soon as he meets this crew.
well,
so he's more involved in that.
My thought is that he is just like pirating around until this cargo is released, and he's like, I'm going to go get it.
Maybe.
Like I'm just under the impression like he knows like where and when this stuff is like doing stuff.
That could very well be, but I don't think that's explicitly mentioned.
Oh yeah, it's not mentioned at all. There's not even a story. This is all about square hogs.
Well, eventually he does break into the Cosby locker, and he has 7 different forms of sedation.
Cosby locker. Yeah.
That's where we're about
7
to-
forms of seduction. And one of them
Sedation.
was sedation. I thought it was
It
seduction.
was sedation.
Jesus.
Yeah. The first one being alcohol.
Well, because alcohol and cocaine are 2 of my forms of seduction.
Sedation or seduction is Mike's cologne brand.
Yeah.
There you go.
You never know what you're gonna get.
Is
not bad.
this ether or
It's like Harry Potter's every flavored jelly bean. You never know.
Yeah. It's whatever you want it
Good
to
luck.
The 5th one's like a cudgel.
be. A cudgel?
Well, before they start cutting into the, oh my
It's
god,
like the most old-timey way to say anything.
that sounds illegal to say too. It just sounds dirty.
Is Collin's Cudgel a webpage that we can take goes rabbit sex?
Yeah, maybe.
Before they start cutting into the, God, that cudgel. Before they start cutting into the cargo, they capture the crew, and he's threatening to cut off their dick if they don't tell him what's in the cargo. And Cindy's like, "Don't do that. Tell you what, I'll sleep with you."
He's like,
Because he's like, "Sleep with me." He's all hot for Cindy. He's like, all right, you can have me. Just let us go and let's go into this other room."
That's
because
what he
that
talks about.
sets up the whole wang.
Yeah,
The wang pulse, yeah.
Low amp wang pulse. That's what he talks about.
And we see his glowing robot buttocks.
Yeah.
Well, she's not having this though.
No.
Yeah,
No.
she's not going to take that wang pulse.
No.
Pull a few tubes out of his guts.
Yeah, she
There's
jerks
some
off his
green
goo.
liquor
Yeah,
spurting.
She jerked him off.
It's funny.
Yeah.
She like rips out like 2 tubes from his back, and then like half his body falls apart.
Yeah, how did that even happen? He just like
She steals his clothes and becomes
She
the captain
then
for
takes
3
his
seconds.
hat, his trench coat, and his goggles,
Yeah.
and everyone thinks she's him. And then 1 minute later, he walks out. Is like, "What the hell, everyone?" What not me? And we're like, "Huh? Well, ain't that a wang pulse?"
Yeah, things are moving very fast and loose right now.
But that's Paul. That's a good point. She pulled out 2 tubes, but then when they showed him, like his leg was missing. Like, what the fuck happened?
He's like Humpty Dumpty. He's like, Smithers, get in here.
So the tubes were the goo that were keeping his leg together on his torso.
It was load-bearing goo.
This is the goo that binds.
That's load bearing
was.
goo. Wow.
And I like her plan to just put on his gear and sneak out.
Well, it worked pretty well with that one guy.
Until he was like 1 foot behind her, like,
Right.
"Hey crew, like what the hell?"
Like
10
that dumb
seconds
henchman.
later.
Like, well, this person's got a cigar and a limp. It's got to be the boss. They're not talking, but I'll figure it out.
So after that whole ordeal, they are just recaptured.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
all that was useless. Now he's just drilling into the cargo.
Well, then they get into the cargo load, and like a killbot's like on the loose and just wrecks shop.
He fucks shit up, dude.
Yeah, big time.
I love
I mean,
this. I love
And
this.
He's shooting people with lasers, like decapitating people. He is fucking like spin kicking people.
Right.
Yeah,
He's doing some like Eddie Gordo shit.
I can't remember.
Ponytail.
I can't remember if it was at this point in time or another time when this killbot was like wrecking the world. He's like spin shooting. He's like pew pew pew. But one guy, he turns around and just kicks right in the dick. like that was so meaningful. He's like, "I am killing everyone, but
Fuck you in particular.
you are getting kicked robotically with my steel leg in your dick."
It was this scene, and this is probably my favorite robot versus human swarm ass kicking scene ever. And I love robot movies, and this robot was kicking ass. There's also a part where he slices a guy in half.
Oh yeah,
That was pretty good. Yeah.
like fucking one robot takes out the entire pirate crew, but then then they escape. So like the ship is blowing up, they escape, and they're like, "All right, we're good to go." And then there's like robot that escapes and starts like fighting Steven Dorff, and for somehow he manages to evade everything that it throws at him.
Yeah, he was doing
Which I don't
okay.
understand.
No one does.
Yeah.
Well, he was wearing a spacesuit.
I think it was at this battle. Maybe it's a little later, but I like one of the crew members comes out and basically is like, "How are you gonna handle this?" and throws a grenade, and the robot catches it and spins it and throws it right back. And the guy's like, "No!" and it goes up in an elevator and explodes. I was like, that was like your big move. Like, how are you gonna handle this? I'm like, it's a freaking robot that's like killing everything. It seems like. Even if that grenade went off, it's probably not going to do much to this thing.
Yeah.
The guy with diabetes, like he comes in, he's like, "I'm
Wilford Brimley?
Yeah, I was like, I got this one.
Wilford Brimley's like, "Oh, I worked with Van Damme on a John Woo film."
I would have stayed on the elevator. I wouldn't have gotten off.
Yeah, that's fair. It could have been one of those elevators with like a little TV showing you like the Nature Channel. It
Yeah.
would have been a better place.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, "Oh, there's a mongoose."
Like, oh,
You're
this-
like,
this
I would have
my
already
floor.
separated the saucer section by now.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they're separating now. They do explode this robot, and there's a lot of other robots on the loose. Even though that they hold this remote control, and Charles Dance's character is dead. I don't know.
Well, Charles Dance is like,
that's-
he's like, by the way, I just want to let you know that they start waking up in groups of 1, then 2, then 4.
Then
then
you can
8.
handle them, but like until then,
And you're
they're
like,
gonna kill
why?
you. Yeah.
Why did you do that?
Yeah, that was a weird programming move.
That's the secret of the dance.
Oh, is he the Lord of the Dance?
I think I might have that in my notes.
Okay.
Lording around with that remote control.
Lord.
Like, who wants this remote control? I got
He's
it.
like,
4
this is how
buttons.
you make the heat go up. This is how you make the heat go down, and this is how you turn the robots off.
This just makes the robot more angry. You can never reverse that, but every time you hit another button, more angry. Yeah. The eyes glow a little more red and a little more direct.
It's incremental, but only in one direction.
It's looking up your genetic background, and it's going to destroy everything at a deep level.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Cindy and Mike kind of separate, and basically John's like, I release you from all of the obligations. You two are totally in love. I was a little bit jealous, but go to Earth, be safe. I'm going to go outside and do some stuff. And they're like, what? And he's like, don't worry about it, but like, I'll meet you there too. And they're like, okay, bro. And they do. They kind of separate. And so John goes outside, and he does deal with a couple robots. Like, he blows up like some kind of bomb or mine that he has. And it's kind
Trying
of
to
fun
separate the couplings from the ship to the cargo.
That's right.
Yeah.
And there's a couple robots he deals with. But then I like that he kind of like goes underneath the ship and comes back up, and then it's just like there are 50 robots. Like you're like totally screwed. But hey, Mike Pooch,
The pooch is loose.
he's back.
The
And
pooch is
he,
loose.
He just backs up the space truck and just like disintegrates these things with their thrusters. Thrust gust.
Yeah.
Yeah, wasn't
That's how you get a loose pooch.
wasn't John there
Thrust gust.
too? He was like standing right there.
He had
Well, whatever.
a small cord to.
He ducked behind that thing.
Ah,
was
okay,
fine.
fair enough.
Yeah.
All
That
right.
thing that shielded him. Yeah.
That thing that did that thing, it does.
It took the thrust gust.
I'll accept that.
So yeah, then he gets in, and they're all like bros for life. He's like bro and tater tots, and so everyone's on board, and they fly off. But all these robots are loose over like the cargo train that they have, and basically he's like, you two got to get to Earth, like make each other respectable. And they're like, yeah, bro. And he's like, I'm Dennis Hopper. Hop on top. Hop on pop. Hop on pop.
What do you do?
And so he flies that train, and he thrusts it right into Earth, and he's twirling, and those robots are disintegrating. And he's like, "How do you like that?" And they're like, "I don't." And
They're like, friction is our weakness, not bullets.
I'm burning up. I'm burning for you. And they do. And they're dead. And so the Pooch and Cindy are already on the ground, and they're like, hey, we see the spaceship, he's going to make it. It's great. And boom, it goes off. And they're like, oh my God, John's dead. And then like literally 5 seconds later, he's like, no, I'm not. I'm going to parachute.
here,
I'm
it's me.
coming in.
It's
I parachuted
me.
down.
This person 500
I'm the only
feet in the
space
air.
trucker
It's
that
like,
knows how to
hey,
use
up
a fucking
here.
Parachute.
Yeah, I mean,
Did
wouldn't you?
it. What's up, Pooch?
Yeah, and then they go see her mom, and she's fucking hot,
Yeah, so
and she talks like fucking Harley Quinn.
yeah, there was a picture. There was a picture of Cindy's mom before. He's like, "Wow, your mom's beautiful, just like you. If I only could have met her back in the day."
Yeah,
Well,
that
so-
was a fun scene. Like, hey, you want to marry me? Sure. Man, I kind of want to fuck your mom, though.
yeah.
Yeah.
You
She
know,
was like, yeah, I get that.
it's a tale as old as time.
Right.
And so basically, they go to the hospital and they found out that her mom had some kind of disease. She was cryogenically frozen. She's like, yeah, the doctors were like, you could either die or be frozen. I was like, I'm gonna freeze.
Do you think she was frozen right next to Stallone?
Oh, in Demolition Man?
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah.
Stallone and Snipes were her fucking frozen cellmates.
She knows how to, like, wire up C4 for some reason. She got the wrong program.
Well, I actually think she got similar programming that Blanca did in Street Fighter, where it was like a mixed bag,
go.
where it was like Nazi propaganda and also like a kid throwing a frisbee. Like,
Yeah, it was a weird mixtape.
She got shock treatment from Dr. Dalsum.
yeah.
They could have given all these things. They just made her attracted to Dennis Hopper.
I just wanted to give a shout out to one of our sponsors, Dr. Dalsum, for all of your brain needs. If you're trying to rule a small island or deprogram the monster you made, Dr. Dalsum. Hair today, gone tomorrow. He might be Indian. I don't know. Does his arm stretch? I don't know. Yoga Flame, Dr. Dalsum, for all of your needs.
Thank you, Dr. Dalsum.
That's his yes. Yoga, yes. So yeah, then they go to the hospital, transition right back into that. And he's like, my God, your mom's just hottie. She's hot to go.
She wants the fucking hopper cock, dude.
Yeah. She wants
we can't say that online?
No, you can say that.
We're going to get demonetized on YouTube.
We have not been monetized on YouTube.
Dr. Dalsum's going to drop us. Our only sponsor.
Yeah.
Guys, that was a little too risque for me. My brainwashing program's one thing, but your offbeat lewd commentary is something I cannot back.
Yeah. When they say 9 out of 10 doctors agree, Dr. Dalsum is the one that doesn't. And he doesn't agree with this.
He's like, I'm not just stretching with my arm.
Yeah. But yeah, the hot mom wants the big hog load.
The Dennis D.
The Dennis D, yeah.
Yeah, well,
But then who shows up? Because they're heroes now.
Wait, before this even goes on, I like that she's also like, hi, Mike, I've never met you. Like, you're part of the family now. You're great. Like, this is great. I'm like, what is happening? But
His last name's Pucci.
Well,
very welcome.
thank God my daughter's going to be a Pucci.
Yeah.
She always was.
What's the daughter's
Mr. and
name?
Mrs. Pucci, this way.
Cindy Pucci?
Cindy
Okay,
Pucci?
that's not as fun.
Oh man, that's terrible. It's like Marcy Darcy.
And so yeah, she's in, but then she sees one side of John, and she's like, "Well, hello there." He's like, "Hi," and then the president of the world comes in.
Jar Jar.
Yeah, the president of the world. He's like, he's like, I've got a new spaceship for you, and your mom's medical bills have all been paid for, and here's a sack of cash, a briefcase of cash, and he. Pucci's pissed. He's like, this is bullshit. I'm going to tell the world about these robots. And Dennis Hopper's like, dude, play it cool, dude. We could be rich. So the president leaves, and Dennis Hopper assures him we'll keep quiet. He's like, good.
The money is a bribe, to be clear. Yeah.
And, and then Pucci's like, are you serious? He's like, I don't know, man. Dennis Hopper, that is. He's like, you two are going to start a life. At least keep the money. He's like, I'm not. He's like, well, screw this. And then Pucci just throws the briefcase right out the window. As simultaneously, the president's like about to set off a bomb, and the bomb's in the briefcase, and the briefcase hits his car. He simultaneously hits it off and explodes himself. But apparently, he did buy them a new ship because at the end of the movie, they're in that new ship. Medical bills are paid. They're in like a NASA space shuttle.
They launch all cargo spaceships up into space like the fucking
SpaceX.
Challenger.
Yeah, so that's the end. They're like, we've never, and Cindy's like, I've never gone travel this way. Am I gonna lose my lunch? I don't know. Pooch. And then the movie's done. Space Truckers, 1996.
Yeah.
You just pooched in my mouth.
We need to slow down a little bit because this is a crazy fucking ending. Because the whole premise, right, is that SAGs wanted to get these robots to take over Earth.
Right.
He manages to just fucking show up one day and take over Earth all on.
Yeah, he's the president already. What else does he need?
President of the world.
So like he couldn't like abort this mission to like.
There's a
buy
lot
all
of
these-
time variables that are in question
That's
here.
fair.
Well, I'm just surprised he actually bought him a ship. Like, he didn't have to. He could have just said that because he was
could
about
have
to kill
killed
him.
him. Yeah.
She should have just killed them instead of tried to.
That's a good point.
was
Why
a
did he buy the
He was
ship?
a man of his word.
Yeah.
That's fair.
He wanted a paper trail just in case people.
he had
said,
access
He's a killer
to
with a
budget,
heart
yeah.
of gold.
There had to have been a time lapse because there was like narration about like a newscast narration about how these three, these two space truckers and some dumb bitch who tagged along with them,
some waitress.
saved the day. So there had to have been like something. So he couldn't just,
Days in the hospital. That's kind of the time lapse I got. Like days went by. And Collin's right. Like the movie does end with like a newsreel, like a couple of space truckers thwarted a plan of killer robots.
Well, that was prior
Yeah.
That was prior to meeting Mom.
Yeah. So yeah, who knows?
Do you think Cindy's new email address is like cpucci@hotmail or something?
Yeah, you better see that, Pucci.
That's what I would do.
OnlyFans.
Yeah.
See Pucci at dickpony.com.
Oh, that's
See,
strong.
Pucci.
Well, talking about contacts, not only can you get to rabbittroopsucks.com by dickpony.com, you could also go there directly, rabbittroopsucks.com. You could reach out to us at rabbittroopsuckspodcast@gmail.com. If you have any inquiries about film, you want to reach out to us in any way, shape, or form, that's the way to do it. Let us know if you want to share anything with us, including some Mike Pucci. As noted, we also have our website, rabbittroopsucks.com, also dickpony.com. Feel free to go there directly. We have pictures of us. We have links to some of our episodes. We have links to merchandise. We have just fun things there. We're also on everywhere podcasts play, including the podcast app on my iPhone, Spotify, Amazon, YouTube, and the list goes on. We are also on social media, including Facebook and Instagram. And that's where you could find us. As always, feel free to reach out. A lot of you reaching out as of late, just a lot of fun online. So awesome. As always, we're always happy that you like some of these movies and it inspires you to think back to when you first watched them or some of the classic lines that came there. So thanks for writing. As always, that's awesome. Jeremy, what did you think of Space Truckers 1996? Dennis Hopper.
Yeah, this movie is so weird. I thought I have seen this movie once in my life, like a long time ago when it first came out, but I have not. Like, as I was watching this, I was like, I have no recollection of any of these events that are taking place.
You won't have
that being said, I mean, I think this movie is terrible, but at the same time, I also think it's fun to watch. There are certain like scenes where the cinematography really clicks, where some of the music clicks. There are other scenes that, like you were saying, where the special effects are just like Mystery Science Theater 3000, like just, third grade special effects, whatever it may be. I don't know. At an hour and 35 minutes, it's a fun watch, I guess. It's not the greatest thing we've ever reviewed. It's fun to talk about, but I did enjoy watching this movie. I think that if you were to watch this in a group of people, you would enjoy it. If you were to watch this like solo, maybe not. I don't know. But go ahead, give it a try. If you're a Dennis Hopper completionist, I love Dennis Hopper. I think he's great. Go ahead, give this movie a shot. The White Pluto Nash.
Did you feel it in your wang frequency?
Yeah. I turned my wang frequency up as I watched this movie all the way till the end when I had the hog load.
I feel it's a really nice homage to Dennis Hopper. I think you'd appreciate that.
Yeah, he would appreciate my hog load.
Collin, what did you think of Space Truckers?
I thought this movie had an incredible premise, and that was strong enough to kind of carry everything else that was wrong with this movie. Like, it started off pretty cool, and then it was completely derailed. Like the movie is the music is super goofy. The dialogue is so wacky that it's just funny throughout, and I don't think all of the times that it's funny it was necessarily meant to be. But I had a ton of fun watching this, and like I would probably do it again, but I think I probably will regret saying that. Yeah. I do want to encourage everyone to send Mike Pucci pics, though.
Most definitely.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. Let's get those pics in as a pooch.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Classic. Lamar, what do you think in Space Truckers?
I don't know.
It's hard. Yeah, this is difficult.
The movie broke Lamar.
I kind of agree a little with Jeremy and a little with you, Collin. This movie has a lot of problems, but it's not problems that you really just break down the movie for. I mean, it has fun. You can't fault it because it doesn't take itself seriously. I really like Charles Dance in this movie. I think this is probably one of my favorite roles of him. We forgot to mention the scene where he's dying and they find him in the back of his cargo, and they find him. He has a cigar in his mouth. He's like, "Hey, can you light me up?" And before he dies, it's like, "You boys want to finish this cigar?" And he just dies. The movie is great for an hour and 30 minutes. If you're not looking for something serious and you're looking to have a good time, I would only watch this once. I'm not going back though. So I don't have much to say about this movie. Usually I have some kind of deeper analysis, but I have nothing. Mike? just toss this over to you, because it sounds like you boys, you and Paul, really like this movie more.
I love this movie.
Than I think, and I kind of want to pick your brain on it. Why you like it so much? I know we kind of like these type of movies. But this one
Mike
just
likes how
resonates
this
a little
movie
more.
delivers its load.
Yeah, a lot of good load logistics. So I've seen this before. I think just once before. Paul and I watched it years and years ago. Presumably, I was a little more intoxicated that first watch because I remembered nothing about the robots. All I remembered about this movie was the scene from the space station, like the burger brawl, George Wendt, and then that Cindy was in her underwear for most of it. That's all the recall.
Okay, I can see that.
Yeah, that's what stood out. But yeah, this movie is so much fun. Like, it's 3 different movies together. There's 3 different kinds of special effects. There's country music. There's like sexy sax music. There's fucking carnival music. It's all over the place, but it just kind of works somehow for me. I don't know why. Maybe to Collin's point, the underlying premise is strong enough to carry it and hold it together. I don't know. Dennis Hopper's just kind of fun to watch because you get the impression that he knows what this is, and he's not really, he's not really going for it. The Dorff is doing his Dorff thing.
Dorfing it up.
He's Dorfing it up. Like Charles Dance gives 100% to everything, and it shows. Yeah, I don't know. I would watch this again tomorrow. This movie's a lot of fun for me.
Yeah, the only thing I would really add is like I agree with Mike overall. I think this movie has somewhat of a slow start. Like maybe the first 20 minutes are just kind of a little weak for me because like I know it sets up the story and what's going on. I don't mind anything with like the square space hogs and various other things. Just the pacing of the movie, like George Wendt is like a throwaway character.
Yeah.
And I think they're trying to utilize him more because of his name. But then when things get going, especially the last half of this film, like straight up the last half is just so much fun. They're just doing weird stuff. They're fighting killer robots. They're in space. Charles Dance is like good, then bad, then kind of good again, then dead. Like, I don't know what's going on. Damn it, Charles Dance. Brother Noomsy. Yeah, I don't know if I'd watch this tomorrow, but I would watch this again sometime in the future for sure. Yeah, like going with what all of you said, like as we know usually with Rami, could you watch this in a group? I think this movie would be better in a group, totally. Yeah. I think it's fun on its own, but like totally better as a group. Especially if you're, a little later into the night, you guys might have some drinks, stuff like that. Then this movie gets extra goofy. It reminds me of Ice Pirates a little bit, which we did. So yeah, I don't know. This movie's just weird. I agree with Mike. Like Dennis Hopper's just fun to watch. Steven Dorff's just doing stuff, like whatever. Then he eventually fights Blade. But yeah, I don't know. There's killer robots. There's square hogs. There's remnants of like what could be this like Cowboy Bebop universe. Like if you were just like delivering stuff and going like to space station to space station. So I love the idea, like by all means.
One of the pieces of trivia was that this movie inspired a Cowboy Bebop episode.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Which one?
Wow.
I'll have to look it up again. So talk in the meantime.
Ooh. So
is that a Space Hogs joke?
Yeah, it's the Space Hog episode.
Is it the one where Dennis Hopper's in it and
Cowboy Bebop Space Hog.
Spike Spiegel and Jet Black team up to find Dennis Hopper's character, John Conway?
Yeah.
Correct, yeah.
Well,
Okay, I found it.
Okay.
Influence on the 7th episode of the critically acclaimed Cowboy Bebop, titled Heavy Metal Queen. The episode's antagonist is smuggling illegal cargo, and the design and look of the trucker spacecraft is identical to the film.
Awesome.
Wow, it does
super
look
cool.
like it. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love you, Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah.
Well, coming up next week, we have continuing on that 1985 train. Our last movie was Better Off Dead, 1985. We're going to be back with that 1985 theme, especially 40th anniversaries. Remo Williams, Collin, The Adventure Begins, 1985. Rest in peace, Fred Ward. He is the star of this movie. Last time we saw Fred Ward. Tremors, which I also love. Collin, you had not seen this movie?
No.
Jeremy, you have?
Oh, yeah. Many times.
Lamar?
Nope.
And Mike, you have?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, I'm excited. So we'll get kind of 50-50 going in here. I think this movie's a lot of fun. I look forward to what everyone's going to say about it. Before we part ways, any final thoughts about this movie this week, Space Truckers 1996? Dennis Hopper, we miss you.
Dude, Dennis Hopper's had a fucking eclectic career, man. He's been all over the place.
I know.
He has. In this movie, his line delivery is a little weird, but like you said, he knows what he's in.
He knows.
And he knows what he's doing.
He knows how to truck.
Yeah, he's trucking right up the Pucci.
And you said something earlier about watching this movie with people. I watched this movie on my own, and I feel like that kind of influenced my decision as to if it's good or not. If you watch it with other people, I think you're going to have a better time. So I'll back up that sentiment. Yeah. Watch it with others and have yourself a good time.
Mike Pucci approved. Well, as always, Rabbit Troop sucks.
Suck a zucks.
Bum, bum, bum.